Which brings us to the next section of the book, the 3 cycles of 7. 7 seals, 7 trumpets, and 7 bowls. And each cycle depicts God's kingdom and justice coming here on earth as in heaven. Now, some people think that the 3 sets of 7 divine judgments represent a literal, linear sequence of events that either happened in the past, or could be happening now, or are yet to happen in the future when Jesus returns. But notice how John has woven all the 7s together. So the final 7 bowls come out of the 7th trumpet and the 7th seal. And the 7 trumpets emerge from the 7th seal. They're like nesting dolls. Each 7th contains the next 7. Also notice how each of the series of 7 culminates in the final judgment, and they have matching conclusions. So it's more likely that John is using each set of 7 to depict the same period of time between Jesus' resurrection and future return from 3 different perspectives. So the slain lamb begins to open the scroll's first 4 seals, and John sees 4 horsemen. It's an image from the book of Zechariah chapter 1, and they symbolize times of war, conquest, famine, and death. In other words, a tragically average day in human history. Then the 5th seal depicts the murdered Christian martyrs before God's heavenly throne, and the cry of their innocent blood rises up before God like smoke from the altar of incense. And they're told to rest because more Christians are yet to die. We're not told why, but we are told that it won't last forever. The 6th seal is God's ultimate response to their cry. He brings the great day of the Lord that was described in Isaiah and Joel, and the people of the earth cry out, "Who is able to stand?" And then all of a sudden, John pauses the action with an intermission to answer that question. John sees an angel with a signet ring coming to place a mark of protection on God's servants who are enduring all this hardship. And he hears the number of those who are sealed, 144,000. It's a military census, like the one in the book of Numbers, chapter 1. There are 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes of Israel. Now, pay attention. The number of this army is what John heard, just like he heard about the conquering Lion of Judah. But in both cases, what he then turned and saw was the surprising fulfillment of those military images in Jesus, the slain Lamb. So when he sees this messianic army of God's kingdom, it's made up of people from all nations, fulfilling God's ancient promise to Abraham. It's this multi-ethnic army of the Lamb who can stand before God because they've been redeemed by the Lamb's blood. And now they are called to conquer, not by killing their enemies, but by suffering and bearing witness just like the Lamb. After this, the 7th and final seal is broken. But before the scroll is opened, the 7 warning trumpets emerge and fire is taken from the incense altar. It symbolizes the cry of the martyrs, and it's cast onto the earth, bringing the day of the Lord to its completion.